Hey, I'm going to be doing a review of the Pixel 3, but I'm going to be comparing it to the Nexus 5X and talk about how it's better and what I like about it. Nexus. Line it up.
Here they are. This is the 5X on the left and the Pixel 3 on the right. You can see that they're almost identical in size. In fact, the Pixel 3 is just a little bit shorter and just a little bit narrower. If you drop a 3 inside a 5X case, you'll see that it fits with a little bit of room all around it, which is pretty impressive because the next thing about it is that the screen is actually just a little bit bigger. So going from the 5X to the Pixel 3 was really easy from a form factor perspective because it felt the exact same size, or just about the exact same size, especially once you put a case on both of them. But the screen's a little bit bigger. Not much. You can see the bezels are just a little bit smaller. Let me see if I can find something here that kind of shows the full screen on both. If I just bring up a empty screen, then you can see that the Pixel 3 is just a little bit better, a little bit bigger. It's 5.5 inches over 5.2. This is also an LCD screen versus an OLED screen, which I think plays a factor into something else later. The resolution is almost like that you see there in the Pixel 3 is where the extra pixels are. They're both 1080 wide, and then the Pixel 3 is just 100 pixels or so taller, maybe not even that. One thing that's real interesting that I don't know if I can do a good demo of, but the Nexus 5X screen is actually polarized, which means if you're wearing polarized sunglasses like I do on occasion, and you turn the screen sideways, you will not be able to see the screen. It will be completely blacked out because the polarization will prevent you from seeing any of the light getting through. The Pixel 3 is not polarized, or maybe more accurately, it's very lightly polarized. I notice when I'm wearing my polarized sunglasses and I tilt my head that it kind of shifts into the blue spectrum, looks a little more blue. I guess that might mean that's either polarized, or that might just be a side effect of the OLED screen. Next thing I want to talk about is speed is really it. The Pixel 3, as you might expect, is a lot faster. I mean, it's a 3-year newer phone, so you would expect it to be quite a bit quicker. The easiest example that I've come across is Pokemon Go, because that always took a really long time to load on my Nexus 5X. So let me just show what that looks like, not HQ. So I'm going to try to tap these at about the same time. This is not a scientific test, but there. Pokemon Go, I heard, just passed 2 billion in revenue from those microtransactions. So people that say, "Oh, no one plays that anymore," must not be true, because it's been around for 2 years, something like that, almost 3 years, and past $2 billion. So you can see that the Pixel 3 is loaded right up, and it took a significantly longer for that to show up. And I don't know how well these will work at the same time. Let's see, you can see this one moves around a little bit quicker, easier, smoother. This one's pretty good, which is part of the reason that I hadn't upgraded until now. But that's not the only reason, not the main driving factor. So speed's a lot better. Battery is also quite a bit better. I've gotten a lot more life out of the Pixel 3. You might expect that just because it's a slightly bigger battery, but it seems to be a lot better with GPS tracking. I don't know if they have a better GPS chip in there or what, but usually when I'm playing Pokemon Go or doing navigation on the Nexus 5X, the battery runs down pretty quickly. I usually either have to have it plugged in or plug it in midway through the day if I do either of those activities. Pixel 3, not so much. I actually got about 23 hours out of it on a single charge, leaving it overnight for part of that, or for 8 hours of that, let's say. And I did a fair amount of navigation with that, maybe an hour's worth. I played Pokemon Go for just a little bit, kind of go in, keep your streak going, that kind of stuff. But and I got 23 hours, which I don't know the last time I've gotten 23 hours out of the Nexus 5X. I say that, but actually I do. It was after I took the SIM card out and I left this thing in my bag. It basically was able to go for several days on that charge because it wasn't really doing anything. It was just connected to Wi-Fi and I wasn't using the phone. But I was using the Pixel 3 actively and have gotten a lot better charge out of that. Now, the big difference that I've noticed is the camera. The camera is much better than the Pixel 3. I won't go into all the details, but I will go into at least one of the major things I like. And that is the selfie mode. Selfie mode. But the wide angle on it. How it goes really wide. That's been really handy. I'm going to insert a picture here. And that will be of me in the back seat of the car getting a picture with two other people in the car. And I was not having to do any sort of funny stuff. I wasn't having to hold it way off to the side where the people end up kind of being behind me. That way we can all get in the picture. I literally held it in front of three people and got a picture of three people. And then I'll switch over to this. I handed it up to the front seat, and the person in the passenger seat was able to just hold it up. And I said, no, zoom out. And they zoomed out the selfie cam, and they said, wow, look, we can all get in the picture. And we all got in the picture. And it was pretty amazing. So I like that. Another cool feature that's not shown a whole lot, but I'll try to do this with a camera on a camera, and that is the tracking. So let me tap this, and then if you look, now as I move the camera around, it actually is tracking that point. So you can see it's going kind of all over the frame, but the camera is keeping that spot in focus as I move in and out. This is really kind of hard to do, but you can see there it's going around all the grid lines, meaning that it's actually moving to different parts of the frame. These are camera tricks, and I hope this doesn't make anybody sick. Camera's really nice. They have not released the official version of the camera APK that has the night sight, so I can't speak to that. But overall, the picture quality has been really good. I always thought the Nexus 5 camera was pretty good, but apparently it's not, because all the rankings for it online show it to be not very good compared to what's out now. It was pretty good at the time. And you can go back and watch lots of videos with it that I've taken with it, doing walk-arounds of costumes, or a lot of my C-3PO videos were done with that, so you can always go back and see that for comparison. The Google Pixel 3 will be what I use going forward, and I'll be switching over to some video to that.
Now, but first I want to talk about dongles. These are the little dongles it comes with. This one's really nice. It's a USB-C to standard USB-A port. The reason they include it is so that you can plug in a sync cable to an old phone, plug it into the new phone, and pull some data over. But these are really nice for the future USB-C world that we are all now entering. We're going to be able to plug this in and then kind of use your old devices with your new devices. They also included the requisite give me my headphone jack. I didn't use the headphone jack on the Nexus 5X a lot. I did use it occasionally, so I'm sure I will be glad I had this at some point, but haven't really needed it since I first got the Pixel 3. And then they included some nice USB-C headphones. They're pretty decent listening to them. I wouldn't say they're amazing, but I'm also not an audiophile, so I don't have real strong opinions about that. These are pretty nice. Let me focus. There's that tracking again that it can do. So I'll hope that it focuses on there. We'll see how it does. And they're pretty good. They're supposedly going to be able to do they supposedly do the translation feature that they talked about a year ago, but they're opening that up to other headphones anyway, so that's not really a special feature for these headphones. Pretty nice. I did try plugging these into the Nexus 5X, and they actually work. So Android has supported, and even this 3-year-old Nexus phone supports USB-C peripherals pretty well. So you can plug stuff in and use the new headphones they gave you. I don't know why you would do that, but let's say you wanted to use your Pixel 3 to film a video and you wanted to still listen to music, you could, on a different device, you could use these same headphones and plug it into something else. Let's go
back to the other camera and talk about the main reason that I upgraded from the Nexus 5X to the Pixel 3. And that is the software. Android. You can go call me Chris Perillo if you want for focusing so much on the software, but it's really true. The reason that I like the Nexus line and the Pixel line is because of the software. They get the updates the quickest from Google, and they also get all of the fanciest Google stuff first. Nexus 5X was, I guess, end of life, and so they are not upgrading it past Android 8.0 Oreo, and the Pixel 3 is one of the new phones with 9.0 Pi. So because I can't get Pi, I bought a Pixel 3, which, if you think about it, see, it's a joke because Pi is a dessert. And anyway, so I don't know if everything about Pi is great. I don't exactly love all this swipe stuff down here for getting to other pictures and apps and stuff, but I see where they're going with it, and I'm sure I'll get used to it pretty quickly, and maybe I'll even think it's faster once I've played with it a little bit more. There are certain things like those little swipe gestures that I think once you get used to, they'll be nice. But the VR stuff is nice. There's some other little features, but really it's more about the future of what it could be after that. You get things like the launchers and stuff like that are nice, but you have to be on the latest version of Android to get all of the features. And so that's really what it's about for me, is getting all the latest Android stuff, the latest software across my devices. And I know the Pixel 3 will be supported probably for 3 years. Maybe with the OS updates, they might support it even longer, but really it's about the software. So I would say that it's a big upgrade going from a Nexus 5X to a Pixel 3. And if you have a Nexus 5X and you really like the software updates, you will need to upgrade to something because you're not going to get any more except security updates. And I think the Pixel 3 is a great choice just because the hardware is nice, the battery life's nice, the screen's still nice, the camera is just great and considered one of the best out there, if not the best out there. The zoom on the camera is really nice. I didn't even talk about that. I've done some really nice things with that. I'll throw in a picture of a zoomed in picture of my jeans that I was wearing, which is kind of a weird thing to show, but that was me just zooming in because I was going to take a picture, and it's like, what is this that I'm looking at? Oh, I see. Yes, my jeans. It's such a close-up picture. So kind of weird, but figured I could show it. So yeah, upgrade. I like it. I think it's going to be good. The hardware is nice. The software is even better. And I think we've really found a winner. So keep an eye out for more reviews as I use the Pixel 3 going forward. Use the Force.
You trying to get down in the video, buddy? No, you gotta stay up there.